This is ABC 7 News at noon. Your Suncoast News. We're here for you.
Hello and welcome. I'm Scott Dennis. Thanks so much for joining us. Topping our news today at noon, a senior member of President Trump's communications team is out today. Communications Director Mike Dubke has submitted his resignation. He's stepping down as the president seeks to dismiss questions about the latest on the Russia probe and links to his son-in-law. ABC's Lana Zak is in Washington with more on this developing story.
President Trump is downplaying the substance of the Russia investigation today, tweeting Russian officials must be laughing at the U.S. and how a lame excuse for why the Dems lost the election has taken over the fake news. But Republican Senator John McCain says the Russian threat is more than just a lame excuse, arguing Russian President Vladimir Putin is a bigger threat than even ISIS.
It's the Russians who tried to destroy the very fundamental of democracy, and that is to change the outcome of an American election.
Investigators are now looking at the president's son-in-law, Jared Kushner, one of the most powerful members of the administration, and allegations that Kushner proposed setting up a back channel with Russia during the transition.
People are saying, oh, you know, back channels are normal. Back channels are normal. The question is it normal to have a back channel before he becomes president? The answer to that is no.
But the president says he has total confidence in Kushner, and despite his admonishment of unnamed sources, retweeted this today. Jared Kushner didn't suggest Russian communications channel in meeting, source says. All the PR problems leading to a staff shakeup in the West Wing. The president's communications director, Mike Dubke, has tendered his resignation, and Trump's former deputy campaign manager, David Bossie, was spotted at the White House with Corey Lewandowski yesterday. Bossie on Fox played coy about joining the team.
It's an ongoing conversation, and I think that's a fair way to put it.
So will the staff shakeup end there? There is also some speculation about White House spokesman Sean Spicer. He's taking to the podium for the first time in more than 2 weeks. Lana Zak, ABC News, Washington.
Pentagon conducting some missile defense system testing today. The Missile Defense Agency will see if the ground-based system can intercept and hit a mock target being launched from the Pacific Ocean. The test takes place at California's Vandenberg Air Force Base and is likely a response to North Korea's aggressive missile test. The anti-missile system is intended to protect the U.S. from limited attacks involving intermediate and long-range ballistic missiles. If the system works, any collision would probably take place somewhere over the Pacific Ocean. Alligator Alley remains open today after the Florida Highway Patrol had to shut it down yesterday because of a brush fire. Smoke from the fire closed a section of the highway for about 4 hours. It was open to traffic around 9 o'clock last night. Troopers remained on the scene there throughout the night to monitor the conditions. Florida Fish and Wildlife investigators are looking into an incident involving 3 juveniles who capsized a boat in Sarasota Bay yesterday. ABC 7's Ray Collins joins us with details. Ray?
Scott, Memorial Day, they won't soon forget. It happened near the Ringling Museum in Sarasota Bay. State investigators believe the boys had the boat's trim tabs in the wrong position, began backing up fast, and took on water. That's what may have caused the boat to capsize. We talked to Sarasota police about trim tabs and how they come into play.
Most boats have trim tabs, but not every boater out here knows what they're for or has the experience on how to properly trim them out. I'm not saying that the trim tabs were the cause of the crash. It's currently under investigation, but backing down too fast and not paying attention to the water coming over the transom or the splash well, it happens periodically, yes.
So the 3 on board were returned to their parents at the 10th Street boat ramp. No injuries, just a little bit damp and perhaps a little bit red-faced after what they went through. They won't forget this holiday.
Wow, and it was a busy day, I'm sure, out on the water because we had great weather all day yesterday.
That's busy and no serious issues.
Yeah, we're glad to hear that. Yeah.
Glad they're okay, though.
Yeah.
We have, again today, some beautiful weather out there. I'm sure the boating community is taking full advantage of that this afternoon. Sarasota Bay webcam put into motion. We started off the morning with a lot of blue sky out there. Now a few fair weather clouds beginning to work their way in. Mostly high, thin clouds, not associated with any kind of rainfall. I don't think we'll see a whole lot in the way of rainfall today, except in inland areas. We might have a slight chance at a shower or two there, but I don't think we'll see much near the coast. We're looking at some showers down to the south of us right now, kind of trying to gently gradually lift northward. We had one lone shower early on this morning in inland areas, and as I mentioned, that's where I think any showers that develop will be likely to be again today in inland areas. A little bit of high thin cloudiness from time to time today, but certainly it hasn't kept our temperatures down. We're well on the road to seeing temperatures in the 90s today in many locations, and about a 20% chance of a scattered shower or two in inland areas. Complete forecast coming up in a few. Scott?
All right, John, thank you. Jury selection scheduled today for a man accused of murdering a teen store clerk in Punta Gorda. 26-year-old Michael Russo is charged with second-degree murder and arson. Back in 2015, investigators say Russo allegedly shot and killed 18-year-old Kyle Farishian while the teen was working on an overnight shift at the 7-Eleven store in Punta Gorda, and then set fire to the store. The Russo was later identified in surveillance video carrying a gas can and a long-barreled revolver into the store. The trial is expected to last up to 3 weeks. Surveillance video helps deputies nab a teen burglar in Bradenton. This is home security video from the home of Amanda Geiser and her boyfriend Dustin Hartman. It shows a thief stealing a chainsaw right from their front porch late Saturday night and then taking off in a getaway car. About 45 minutes later, and about just 5 minutes after deputies had left the property, the same thief was back, this time running off with a bike.
For this guy just to come one day and just snatch my chainsaw and then come right back and take my bike, he was on a mission. So, I mean, for this to happen in my neighborhood, it's not just upsetting, it's just disrespectful.
17-year-old boy was identified in the video and arrested later. He was released to his parents. The bike has been returned, but not in one piece, and the chainsaw remains missing. New this afternoon, a public meeting about aging pipes on Anna Maria Island. According to the Bradenton Herald, Manatee County is working on a force main replacement project that will replace old underground sewer and water lines on the island. The pipes run along a stretch of Gulf Drive from Cortez Road West and north of Manatee Avenue West. A public meeting to learn more about it will be held this afternoon at Cross Point Fellowship Church in Holmes Beach. That happens from 4:30 until 6:30 this evening. Here in the Suncoast, we're known for our beaches, the arts, and now our summer intern opportunities, apparently. Personal finance website goodcall.com ranks the city of Sarasota number 26 as one of the best places for a summer internship this year. Analysts grade cities on public transportation, availability of internships, cost of living, and crime. Other Florida cities that made the list were Naples at number 4, Winter Park, Pensacola, Tampa, and Gainesville. The number 1 city for a summer internship, by the way, Morgantown, West Virginia. Time now to head over to our kitchen, where our guest chef today, Robert Gallio, joins us today from Italian Culinary Tours. Robert, welcome to our kitchen. What's on the menu for today?
Thanks for having me. I'm preparing caponata. It's a Spanish-influenced dish that is in Sicily. So they basically took a Spanish dish and gave it their Sicilian style. Anywhere you go in Sicily, you'll find caponata.
Sounds delicious. We'll be back with you in just a little bit. Thank you, Chef.
Grazie.
When I was in foster care, I never knew when I would have to move. So I always had my suitcase ready to go. Then one day, I was adopted. My new parents opened their hearts and home to me. My parents cook my favorite breakfast for me every morning. My parents take me on trips I never thought I would go on. They gave me a home and an even better reason to use that suitcase. My parents aren't perfect, but they're perfect for me.
This is an important medical announcement. Xarelto and Pradaxa have been linked to uncontrollable bleeding and even death. If you've been prescribed one of these drugs and have experienced these dangerous side effects, you may be entitled to substantial compensation. Studies show that Pradaxa can cause more heart attacks than warfarin, and other countries have already issued safety warnings against this drug. Call now for a free assessment of your case and potential money damages. The call is confidential, there's no cost, and you may be eligible. Juries have awarded millions of dollars to Pradaxa victims, and thousands of Xarelto victims are filing their legal cases. Call the Drug Watch hotline if you or a loved one used Xarelto or Pradaxa and experienced uncontrollable bleeding, brain hemorrhage, or even death. You must call now.
Call 800-793-6055. 800-793-6055. The kitchen is where life happens. Minnesota Flooring now offers a wide variety of beautiful quality craft-made cabinetry to make sure the heart of your home reflects your style. Visit us today.
Let me introduce you to the ultimate Florida window. Do you feel safer with this or this? You'll be proud too.
Going on now. For every 2 windows you buy, get 1 more free. Call today.
ABC 7 News at 7, weeknights. Now, the official Suncoast weather with ABC 7 meteorologist John Scalzi.
Current air temperature comes in at a healthy 90 degrees already. With a dew point value of 66. Dew points dropped just a little bit. Southwest wind coming in at about 6. The reason the dew point dropped a little bit is our winds shift temporarily to the east, and that comes in over land. But those dew points will climb back up now that we have a more westerly component to the wind established due to a little bit of sea breeze starting and a southerly component as well. We have some high-level clouds out there, but not enough to block the sun, so plenty of sunshine around. Should boost our temperature another couple of degrees, I think, now that that westerly wind is established. It'll probably hold it about there. 89 degrees Lakewood Ranch, 90 in Parrish and Bradenton, 84 Longboat Key, 88 in Venice, 86 degrees in Inglewood. Northport comes in warm as well at 89. We've got 92 in Wauchula, 90 in Arcadia, 91 in Punta Gorda, and 89 degrees in Mayaca. We'll see these inland temperatures get very warm this afternoon, probably in the mid-90s again. And the humidity values are going to be high enough that I don't think we're going to have a red flag warning across the region today. But the fire danger is still high, especially with these high temperature readings. One of the reasons we're getting these high temperatures is because of a big ridge of high pressure, which tends to suppress our rain showers, as is the case right now. We also have an increase due to recent fires of little particulates in the air, basically soot. And that has triggered an alarm, an EPA alarm, that we exceeded what is generally considered a safe level for very sensitive people. And so we may see a little bit later on today an air quality alert issued for our area due to that factor. So if you're a very sensitive person, have a compromised respiratory system, you're extremely young, and you're going to do strenuous outdoor labor, or you're going to be out of doors for a prolonged period of time, just keep that in the back of your mind that you may want to consider spending more time indoors today. So across the region, not a drop of rain falling currently, but I think that'll change as we head into the afternoon. We'll probably see some showers building in inland areas, particularly. Not so much along the coast today, though we are getting some pretty good coastal showers up around the Louisiana Delta region. Big, heavy thunderstorm activity there. It's trailing up in toward the Atlanta area and then back toward the Delmarva. This whole system is just not moving all that much, at least not much north to south. The systems, the showers are just kind of riding right along the railroad tracks of that line and not heading in any particular direction. We have a stalled front there that is just going to linger for a couple of days. We also have another frontal boundary kind of carving its way southward and a big ridge of high pressure back beyond that. That accounts for the weather patterns today. And we have a strong chance of seeing some severe weather in parts of New York State as well as Pennsylvania, then back to the west towards areas of Kansas City. Otherwise, standard kind of thunderstorm activity anticipated, particularly for the state of Florida. If you see any, and it would be in inland areas, it will be non-severe in nature, most likely. So the fire danger, as I mentioned, is still high, though we don't have red flag warnings because there's just going to be too much humidity in the air to trigger a red flag warning. But certainly the chance of a wildfire starting and then rapidly spreading is still high in many locations. This forecast model shows, again today, Hardee, DeSoto, Charlotte County, all in the high category, and Manatee County continues to be in the very high category. Sarasota still escaping with low. But as far as the actual numbers go, yesterday Sarasota was in the high, so this forecast model may actually be underestimating Sarasota's fire danger. Double areas of troughiness continue to kind of chip away at this high-pressure ridge, and as it moves into the Atlantic and our winds shift southeast, low-level moisture increases across the state, and that will eventually bring us a better rain chance as we head into the end of the work week. About a 50% chance then, and those showers, which build inland, will move toward the coast, so everybody gets a chance of rain. Hot, humid today, Scott, but hopefully at least inland areas will get a little bit of rainfall.
Stay inside. All right. Thank you, John. In health news today, a batch of bad synthetic marijuana sends at least 9 people to hospitals in north central Florida. The synthetic drug is known as Spice. Side effects could include agitation, extreme nervousness, nausea, vomiting, diarrhea, a racing heartbeat, and hallucinations. Reports of overdoses happened over the weekend in Gainesville. Patients' ages range from late teens to about 70 years old. Officials say the outbreak appears to be associated with homeless people. A new heart health campaign called Hands Only CPR shows the simple steps that could help save a life when someone goes into cardiac arrest. ABC's Jesse Palmer has the details.
Hands. Just 2 hands. That's all you need to save a life. No one knows that better than these 2 women. Ashley was saved by her dance partner.
I call them my lifesavers.
And Dorothy was saved by her daughter.
I want people to know that CPR is really easy.
And now a new initiative is trying to empower all of us to jump in and do CPR when needed. Hands only.
It's really important for people to realize that mouth-to-mouth is no longer required. The only thing that's required to save someone's life is to do hands-only CPR.
The numbers are staggering. More than 90% of people who suffer out-of-hospital cardiac arrests will die. 70% of cardiac arrests happen at home.
We want to do nothing short of changing the social norm by empowering people with knowing what to do.
Joining this crusade, celebrities like Michael J. Fox, Juliana Margulies, Michael Bloomberg, all among the famous faces lending their hands to the hashtag HandsOnlyCPR.
There are 3 steps to saving someone's life. Check, call, and compress. Check to see if they're breathing. Call 911 and then begin chest compressions.
Check, call, compress. And that truly it is life-saving.
Jesse Palmer reporting there with some good advice. School is nearly out, which means kids will be spending a lot more time in the pool. But before you let them swim, here's some quick tips to keep them safe. First, keep kids who have had diarrhea out of the water. Their germs can make everyone sick. Second, shower before you get into the water if you can. Take any germs off your skin. Third, remind your kids that when nature calls, get out and head for the bathroom. And finally, tell your kids to not swallow the pool water. Also, the Red Cross urges parents to remember the most basic rule, which is to keep an eye on children at all times when they're near water, especially younger children. Coming up next, new documents are shedding more light into the arrest of former #1 golfer Tiger Woods. And Chipotle is going through a cyber attack. A few locations here in our Suncoast may be potential victims. Why you may need to check your credit card statement if you're a recent customer.
Credit card debt can ruin your life. If you owe $10,000 and minimum payments are siphoning away your paycheck each month, you can get debt-free in less time than you think.
I've paid $800 a month for the past 3 years and haven't changed the balance on my credit card.
Get debt-free now has a program to reduce your debt, stop the harassing phone calls, avoid financial ruin, and settle for less than you owe.
I feel like a huge weight has been lifted off my shoulders.
You're pre-approved for our special hardship program if you owe $10,000 or more. Upon payment of your new lower balance, your debt will finally shrink until you are debt-free.
My family no longer has 30 years of payments ahead of us at 20% interest.
There's no fees until you see results. So call now, make one monthly program payment, and free up your cash. Resolve your debt.
Call 800-685-6422, 800-685-6422.
Since 1972, Sleep King has provided quality mattresses and accessories at the best discounted prices available. Top brands like Simmons, Sealy, Serta, Beautyrest, iComfort, and more. With available free delivery, free financing, and free setup and removal. For a comfortable night's sleep with same-day delivery, even if we have to carry it on our backs. Trust Sleep King of Sarasota. Buy it today, sleep on it tonight.
Hi, I'm Chef Judy. Every Wednesday morning, I'll be with the chefs at the Publix Aprons Cooking School serving up the most wonderful dishes. Watch Aprons in the Kitchen every Wednesday on ABC7's Good Morning Suncoast.
This is the story of a boy who is very sensitive to lights and sounds. So he built secret hiding places where nothing could get in. The boy didn't like looking people in the eye. It made him feel uncomfortable. One day, he found out he had something called autism. His family got him help, and slowly, he learned how to live with it better.
Early intervention can make a lifetime of difference. Learn the signs at autismspeaks.org.
Check out My Suncoast Dining on mysuncoast.com, your guide to the foodie lifestyle. ABC7's own Chef Judy serves up her favorite recipes, cooking tips and trends, dining blogs, step-by-step videos, and Suncoast Restaurant Guide. You'll find it all at mysuncoast.com/dining.
An update this afternoon on the DUI arrest of Tiger Woods. A police report lists 4 medications that were taken from him. One of those medications was Vicodin, but he did not have alcohol in his system. ABC's Maggie Rulli has the latest.
We have new details behind this now infamous mugshot. Tiger Woods arrested for suspicion of driving under the influence early Monday morning in Jupiter, Florida. A court document reveals the responding officer found Woods asleep at the wheel and he had to be woken up. It alleges his speech was extremely slow and slurred and that he could not walk in a straight line. Woods insists alcohol was not involved, and the document shows that Woods blew a 0 on his breathalyzer test. In a statement, he blames the incident on an unexpected reaction to prescribed medications.
He's a community member, and I think that, we should support him.
The golf legend once dominated the game.
There it is, a win for the ages.
Winning 79 PGA Tour events and 14 majors. But in 2009, the first crack. An SUV crash outside his home revealed a cheating scandal, leading to a very public divorce from his wife and sponsorship losses worth millions. He built back his reputation off the course, but his career remains plagued with health issues, undergoing 4 back surgeries, the most recent just this April.
Tiger, the golfer, has been basically missing over the last couple of years. He's played 3 tournaments worldwide in 2 years.
The world's former #1 golfer now sits at number 876. And ESPN correspondent Tom Rinaldi warns Woods should only expect things to get worse.
Right now, there's a mystery surrounding his competitive life, which has only been compounded by this incident in his personal life.
Again, those new documents show that Woods was not drunk at the time of the incident, but he is still being charged with driving under the influence and is set to appear in court on July 5th. Maggie Rulli, ABC News, New York.
The police report also indicated Woods told officers he was recovering from those back surgeries. The American flag rolled out last night at the beginning of the Rays-Rangers game in Arlington, Texas. Tim Beckham hitting a 3-run homer in the 7th inning. The Rays scoring 5 runs in a span of 3 pitches to beat Texas 10-8 on their home field. The loss ends the Rangers' 8-game home win streak. Same 2 teams will play again tonight. The Pittsburgh Penguins winning Game 1 of the Stanley Cup final. The team winning despite putting only 12 shots on the goal, but 5 of those dozen shots made it into the back of the net. Penguins win it 5-3. Game 2 is tomorrow night back in Pittsburgh. Tampa is not only going to be the host of a Super Bowl, the city will host the NHL's All-Star Weekend next year. The Tampa Bay Lightning had been rumored to host this event, but there was the Olympics to worry about. Since then, the NHL has decided to skip the Olympics. All-Star Week will take place January 27th and 28th of 2018. Let's get back to the kitchen now. John is with our guest for the Today, Chef Robert Gallio from Italian Culinary Tours. John?
It is such a pleasure to have you here, sir.
Thanks, John.
Thanks for coming in today. We appreciate it. Is this your first time here with us at the station?
Actually.
So you are very welcome to come back anytime, enjoy the kitchen, and I'll tell you what, the smells in here are fantastic.
Well, it's great. Great to be here, and thank Judy for me.
I certainly will. Now, you offer a kind of unique experience, don't you, with your culinary tours to Italy?
That's correct. We do a 7-day, 7-night immersion in the communities that we go. We're just outside of Florence in Tuscany.
Ah, such a beautiful place.
Which is amazing for their beef and all their wine there, Chianti. We're actually in the Chianti area. And then we're in Sicily as well. And today we're doing caponata, which is a Sicilian dish, which kind of brings all the cultures that have come through Sicily over 3,000 years.
Fantastic. Well, let's get to it. Show us what you're doing. While you're doing that, I'm going to nibble on some of these olives.
Sure, those are imported from Sicily.
Lovely.
These olives here, they're from Casa Italia, which is here in Sarasota, so you can get those.
Love that place.
So we're going to add, what we did is we pre-boiled our vegetables and our olives. So they're a little soft, right, because they've been pre-boiled. So we'll add these into, the key with caponata, you have to have good, real olive oil. Mazzoni is on 41. Several places just find a good olive oil provider.
Do you like the buttery olive oils or the grassy olive oils?
I like grassy and a little bitter, you know, a little bite to it.
Yep.
Tuscany is also known for amazing olive oil. So the key to caponata is you're going to want to have red wine. They have basically taken a Spanish dish and given it that Sicilian flair, which is sugar and vinegar.
Okay.
So red wine vinegar, we'll get that in here. And the sugar, zucchero.
My grandma used to use so much red wine vinegar. It was just all the time.
Get a little more heat here. And then basically, it's the sweet and sour of the dish that's going to really pop for you when you eat it. I love all the colors. My family's in Sicily, and that's my cooking school, basically, unofficial. And for instance, my cousin does not put in red bell pepper. I do, because I love the color and I love the sweetness of it. And someone will tell you, well, that's not caponata. I'll tell you what, wherever you go in Sicily, it's going to be different.
So different in different places.
That's right. So the eggplant is basically the sponge that's going to absorb all these flavors that have been layered. So we had put in some pine nuts, as you can see over here. We have capers. Capers grows all over the place in Sicily. And let's not forget celery tops along with the celery. We throw out celery tops.
Yeah, we do.
Lots of flavor in there. Now,
how long would that normally have to cook?
This, I basically sauteed the onions and the red pepper. I don't boil the red bell pepper because it's more delicate. I like to just saute it in the good olive oil. Now the key here is don't overstir your eggplant because it's very delicate. The other component here is we made a nice little tomato base here with basil. You see the basil over there. Little garlic, salt, and pepper. So we're going to mix this all together.
And just some good plum tomatoes, huh?
If you can find good plum, if you can't, just get a good bottle or a can. I look for something that has no citric acid. Maybe it might have salt to help it preserve, but you know, Palmy's another brand, it's just tomatoes. So it's not a problem to use a canned tomato, but just find yourself a nice can that is not put in, because citric acid basically is there to preserve it. And then what we'll have here is we'll dump this into here, stir it around a little bit, not stir it too much because we don't want that eggplant all to come apart.
Okay, well, we've got about 15, 20 seconds left, so if you want to go ahead and add that, while you do it, I'll remind everybody that the recipe for this meal is on our website, mysuncoast.com. Go on there, click on the dining link page. It'll take you right there and give you all the information you need. And when it's all done, how much longer do you cook at this point?
Pretty much.
It's ready to go?
It's ready to go.
And you would serve it up right like you've done over here?
Bruschetta on the top, you'll see the olives. We've got a little of the cracked olives also from Sicily. And just enjoy.
Beautiful. Thank you so much, Robert. We appreciate you being here.
Thanks for having me.
From Italian Culinary Tours on our website. Thanks so very much, sir.
We'll see you in Italy sometime.
See you in Italy. We'll be right back.
What Florida city is best known for spaceflight?
Cape Carnival.
Cape Carnival? Close enough. What condiment includes vinegar, molasses, and anchovies?
Westchester sauce?
Close enough. And now, a word from our sponsors.
One-off from the Florida Lottery. Now available for pick 2, 3, 4, and 5 games. Miss by one on any or all numbers and still win.
Attention, Americans eligible for Medicare. Are you getting all the benefits you're entitled to? Did you know there may be money available to lower your medical prescription costs? Call Health Markets and we'll tell you if you qualify.
Hi, I'm Dr. Martin Jeetzy. It's a new Medicare year. That means more changes and more confusion. The key question is, what can you do now to ensure you get the care you need in the coming year?
Call Health Markets today. You may qualify to save money on prescriptions. We'll help you find plans that may cost less, cover more, and could even lower your prescription costs to increase your savings. We help you find all the benefits you're entitled to, and we do it at no cost.
Make sure you have what you need to get the care that's right for you.
Find out if you qualify to receive extra help with your prescriptions. Call the number on the screen now. Representatives are standing by.
I'm calling in regards about my mother, and I'm here, and I just want to thank you because it saved my mother's life yesterday. And I'd like to know the names of the people that came in and saved her so I could call and thank them. And she's doing fine. It's a wonderful thing. Thank you.
When you fall and cannot get up, an accident can turn into a tragedy. But with Life Alert, one touch of a button can get you help fast. Life Alert saves a person from a catastrophe every 10 minutes.
Life Alert is a lifesaver. If it weren't for Life Alert, I wouldn't be sitting here today.
For a free Life Alert brochure, call 1-800-962-4112. That's 1-800-962-4112. Call now, 1-800-962-4112. For a free brochure, call 1-800-962-4112.
I believe that home is where your pet is.
And that loving an animal means never giving up on them, never letting them go.
I believe that when you spay or neuter your pets, you help decrease the number of homeless animals.
Because every dog and cat deserves a place to call home.
I believe that I found my best friend at a shelter. And you can too.
We believe that together with Best Friends Animal Society,
we can bring about a time when there are no more homeless pets.
Visit ambassadors.bestfriends.org.
Live from our studios on Florida's Suncoast, this is ABC 7 News at noon. Your Suncoast News. We're here for you.
Welcome back. ISIS is claiming responsibility for 2 suicide bombings in Baghdad. The first happened outside a popular ice cream parlor, the other during rush hour in downtown area. At least 27 people were killed. The attacks came as the terrorist group loses territory to U.S.-backed Iraqi forces in the Iraqi city of Mosul. A former South American dictator and one-time U.S. ally dies in a hospital. Manuel Noriega died at the age of 83. He was Panama's leader from 1983 until he was removed from power by the U.S. military in 1989. Noriega spent nearly 2 decades in a U.S. prison for drug trafficking and money laundering. He had recently undergone surgery to remove a benign brain tumor and was in a medically induced coma after suffering severe brain hemorrhaging. The Panamanian president writing about Noriega's death on Twitter, calling it a chapter in their history they can now finally close. Happening today, jury selection begins for a Minnesota police officer accused of fatally shooting a man during a traffic stop. Geronimo Yanez is charged with second-degree manslaughter in the death of Philandro Castile last July. The aftermath of that shooting was live-streamed on Facebook by Castile's fiancée. Yanez says he had pulled over Castile because he thought he matched the description of a man wanted for armed robbery. The officer alleges he believed Castile had a gun in his hand and that he had no option but to shoot, but prosecutors say Castile was reaching for his license when the officer opened fire. Also happening today, testimony begins in the trial of a Boston man accused of killing a little girl whose image was shared by millions of people through social media. Michael McCarthy is charged in the death of 2-year-old Bella Bond. Her body was found washed up on a harbor island 2 years ago. The girl was known only as Baby Doe for months as authorities struggled to identify her. Turns out she was the daughter of McCarthy's ex-girlfriend. Bella's mother has pleaded guilty to being an accessory after the fact for helping McCarthy dispose of her body. A grandfather in Tennessee is demanding an answer after finding his 6-month-old grandson's coffin floating in water. Tony Jones and his family found Ashton McKay's casket floating upside down in the spot where he was buried just 2 weeks ago. The cemetery was closed for Memorial Day, so the family could not notify employees, but police did take a report. Jones believes his grandson's casket was not buried properly, and the heavy rain caused it to float out of the ground.
It's just disgraceful. It's disgraceful. Ain't nothing else I can say about it. Because I hadn't touched it yet. I'm hoping he's not floating in the water also.
Ashton's grave was the only one impacted. The family hopes to rebury him. Severe weather damages more than a dozen homes and injured several people in a North Carolina county. This was the scene late last night. At least 14 people were hurt, including one woman who was trapped inside a mobile home that flipped over and rolled due to the high winds.
She had a bunch of cuts and bruises, but she was walking. She was coherent. I don't know if it was shock that was keeping her going or what, but she was walking on her own.
Trees also fell on houses and power lines. More than 2,000 people were without power this morning. Just last week, a tornado struck that same area, damaging a fire station. Here at ABC 7, we want to make sure you're ready for hurricane season. Tune in this Thursday, the first day of the season, for our annual hurricane special. Our weather team will be going over evacuation zones and routes, shelter information, what you need to have in your supply kit, and what you need to do and be ready for this hurricane season. You can also call us during the program to answer your storm-related questions. We have a panel of experts who will be here, so mark your calendar, June 1st, this Thursday at 7 p.m. right here on ABC 7. John, I know you and Bob and all the others in the weather team have been working very hard on this hurricane special to make sure everyone's ready for what could be an above-average kind of season.
And it's a unique special, too. You won't see another one anywhere around like this one, in that you can call in with your specific question that pertains directly to you and your family, and you can get that question answered by an expert, and that's unique. You don't see that. Nope. So it's a nice opportunity. I do hope you join us on the 1st at 7 o'clock, and stay prepared, get prepared. Yep. We are looking today at a pretty nice day out there. We have a few fair weather clouds, certainly have some warm temperatures about. Casey Key webcam put into motion shows the blue skies. And occasionally some high-level thin clouds strolling in there from the Gulf of Mexico. We have some shower and thunderstorm activity back to the west that's producing those clouds. They don't mean that we're about to get any kind of storm system around here. We have a lot of blue sky. We have a lot of sunshine. We have a lot of heat. Temperatures now at 90 will probably top out in the lower 90s over most of the area, even mid-90s in inland areas. Few scattered showers down to the south, an indication of moisture that's trying to stream northward, and there are the clouds that I was talking about. As we see that moisture lift northward and we develop that sea breeze, we might pick up a 20% chance of an inland shower, but I think the coast stays clear today. Rain chances are going up over the next several days, and we'll talk about that in a few minutes, Scott.
Okay, John, thank you. If you visited a Chipotle on the Suncoast this past March or April, you may want to check your bank account. ABC 7's Jacqueline Matter is here with details on a recent hacking incident affecting Chipotle restaurants nationwide. Jacqueline?
Yes, Scott, an investigation found that cash registers were infected with malware and captured information stored on the magnetic strip on credit cards. That breach could allow hackers to steal credit card information from customers and affected those that ate at the restaurant between March and April. One customer who I spoke with goes to that restaurant at least 3 times a month, and he was shocked to hear the news.
I come here often. Me and my son, we eat there like often, so it was just a thing because like a lot of information can get out, and it can really like either determine the future. You know what I mean? It can create anything. So it's kind of overwhelming.
While the company says the breach doesn't affect all restaurants, they did release a list of those stores that were compromised on the Suncoast here. And those stores include one in Bradenton, located at 1608 Cortez Road. In Sarasota, 3 stores were affected. Those include the store off North Cattleman, South Tamiami Trail, and Fruitville Road. The company advises anyone who has eaten there recently to check their credit card statements for potential fraudulent charges. Back to you, Scott.
All right, Jacqueline, thank you so much. With a company that's changing the way people shop, reaching unprecedented levels on the stock market today. For the first time ever, Amazon stock has topped $1,000. That puts the company's market value now at $478 billion. That's double the value of Walmart and more than 15 times bigger than Target. Only one other stock on the S&P 500 currently has a 4-figure stock price, and that is Google's parent company, Alphabet. Amazon has been blamed for taking out major retailers and supermarkets since they sell everything from groceries to small appliances, a long way from its start of just selling books back in 1995. Coming up, a zoo in London is closed today after a tiger attacks an employee. And what Florida beach store, Shore, did this giant catch come from? Those stories when we come back.
This is an important medical announcement. Bard IVC filters have been linked to punctured veins and problems with migration. Anyone who's received a Bard IVC filter must receive medical monitoring and may be entitled to substantial compensation. If you have the Bard Recovery G2 or G2 Express filter, you are in a class of patients who should be compensated for some expenses. Call now for a free assessment of your case and potential money damages. This call is confidential. There's no cost and you may be eligible. Juries have awarded millions of dollars to people who should have been warned about the risks of the Bard IVC filters. Call the IVC Filter Hotline if you or a loved one has received an IVC filter and experienced a vein puncture or required medical monitoring. You must call now.
Call 800-329-3089. 800-329-3089.
Hi, I'm Chef Judy. Every Wednesday morning, I'll be with the chefs at the Publix Aprons Cooking School serving up the most wonderful dishes. Watch Aprons in the Kitchen every Wednesday on ABC7's Good Morning Suncoast.
Today, everyone is looking for more fashionable choices in flooring than ever before. And G. Fried has responded with a huge selection of carpets, tile, wood, laminate, and vinyl. Installed by a highly skilled team, G. Fried has got everything you're looking for and more. The next time you think about quality flooring, think G. Fried Flooring America. G. Fried Flooring America. Our world is at your feet.
Enjoy some of the best Suncoast restaurants on me. Just go to mysuncoast.com/dining, sign up for the newsletter if you haven't already, and you can win a $50 gift card to a restaurant in our area. We'll pick a winner each week, so go on our website and sign up now.
Well, we're on our way to low 90s for a daytime high. We already hit the 90 mark at the airport. Plenty of sunshine out there. Dew points have come down just a little bit, actually, because of an easterly wind flow that developed earlier on. But now with the southwesterly wind, we'll see the dew points, I think, climb again this afternoon. Relative humidity at 45%. We have a big ridge of high pressure sitting over us right now. It's acting like, if you think of the compression on a bicycle pump when you're pumping up a tire on a bicycle. You know how that pump gets hot? Because you're compressing the air and it gets hot. Same kind of thing is going on in our atmosphere. A big dome of sinking air pushing down on the surface air from aloft is kind of heating up that air at the surface. Plus, we have lots of sunshine. Plus, we have winds coming in off of the Atlantic, coming across land, which is heated by the sun. The sun then heats the ground heats the air moves into our area, heated, and consequently it's warmer. So the 24-hour temperature change between yesterday and today, because yesterday we had a more northwesterly wind or northeasterly wind, depending on the time of day, and today we have that more southwesterly wind. Now we're a little warmer by a few degrees. Sarasota coming in 4 degrees warmer than 24 hours ago at this hour. Dew points, however, the measure of how much moisture there is in the air, have locally come down. Now, I wouldn't say that's the case across the entire state, however, though. 74 degrees. Miami, Key West coming in at 75, 71 in Orlando, Jacksonville and Tallahassee both solidly in the 70s. So we'll see our dew point rise up again before too terribly long, no doubt about it. Local temperatures are steamy. 90 degrees, Myakka, 89 in Lakewood Ranch, 91 in Bradenton, Venice at 88, 87 degrees in Inglewood, and 84 degrees at Longboat Key. When you have temperatures like this, and you start to get that humidity back up into the 70s, it's pretty hard on a peninsula not to get rain showers. And the only reason that we're not right now is because of that compressional effect of that high pressure ridge. But it's moving away. Right now, not a lot of rain around in our neck of the woods. Down to the south, there are a few showers. And of course, we have these showers located to the north along that stalled frontal boundary. But what will happen will be that the high pressure ridge that sits over us will be impacted by three things. One, a series of troughs will start to sink southward. Two, the high itself will be moving out into the Atlantic, and that will switch our winds around to a more southeasterly direction. And three, because of that southeasterly wind flow at the surface, we'll get more moisture, low-level moisture in. So a combination of the heating, the low-level moisture, and this little kind of trough of low pressure in the upper atmosphere that's going to chip away at the effectiveness of that high in suppressing showers will kind of all add up into the mix to help us get more rainfall by the end of the week. Sunny and warm today, an isolated inland shower, certainly not widespread, but there'll be a few around in inland areas mostly, and then we'll watch those winds starting to turn to the southeast. So a little bit more moisture working its way in. This is the thunderstorm activity and showery activity that we have back toward Louisiana Delta region, and it shoots those storms way up into the air, and upper level winds then take some of that wind and bring it back in this direction. As that high departs, we're going to get more and more of this kind of zonal flow going from west to east across the region, helping to enhance our sea breeze formation and bring us that better chance of showers. The RPM computer model forecast shows mostly inland showers today as that northeast wind switches more easterly again overnight at about 10 knots, 2-foot seas and a light chop. And the forecast for the rest of the week calls for that increasing chance of showers as we head into, well, particularly, I think, Friday and the weekend. We'll get up to about a 50% coverage. Back to you, Scott.
All right, John, thank you. Developing this afternoon overseas, an investigation is still underway in the UK after a tiger killed a zookeeper there. The tragic incident happening yesterday at a zoo in England, north of London. 34-year-old staff member Rosa King was killed in an enclosure with the animal. The zoo is calling it a freak accident and evacuated the area as a precaution. They say the public was never at risk and the tiger did not escape. King had worked at the zoo for about 14 years. Staff says she was passionate about animals and defended the conservation efforts that zoos provide for tigers.
Tiger here, there's only about 300 left in the wild and they're being poached. At least they're safe here and we can work on increasing the numbers.
British police say the tiger is still alive, and this isn't the first time a person has been hurt while working with animals. Last year, a tiger mauled a veteran zookeeper in South Florida, and an animal trainer had a close call with a tiger at a fair in North Florida. SeaWorld San Diego's newest show opens with some mixed reviews. It's called Orca Encounter. The show replaces the popular Shamu show. ABC's Kano Whitworth has more.
SeaWorld's iconic killer whale show just got a little less splashy. This weekend, the San Diego park debuting a new educational presentation called Orca Encounter to replace what was once one of its biggest attractions, the so-called Shamu show. Orca Encounter includes a film about the animal's behaviors, and while the orcas do breach and splash the audience, tricks are not the focus, and trainers no longer ride or swim with the whales. The new show receiving mixed reviews, some calling it informative and poignant, others calling it boring, saying it features very little action using the orcas. This just the latest change at SeaWorld, the park announcing last year it would no longer breed its orcas following public outcry. The park has been trying to revamp its image following years of declining revenue, lagging attendance, and negative publicity brought on by the 2013 documentary Blackfish, which took a critical look at whales in captivity, specifically Tilikum, who was involved in 3 deaths, including trainer Don Branchow in 2010.
Do you think that these whales are living a happy, full life?
Absolutely. It's so important to educate people about these animals. Otherwise, they're not going to care to want to protect them.
That film's director believes SeaWorld has made some progress, but not enough.
They're still swimming around in concrete tanks. My overall hope would be that SeaWorld would just kind of embrace the opportunity to truly evolve and to retire these whales into seaside sanctuaries.
That was Kano Whitworth reporting. Elsewhere, 2 men in South Carolina are in trouble for allegedly forcing an alligator to drink beer. The suspects posted pictures of the incident on Snapchat. Officers tracked the men down and arrested them. They told police they found the gator while it was crossing a road and later released it into a nearby pond. The men are now facing harassment charges. Caught on camera here in Florida, a few teens trying to stop a fisherman from walking away with a catch of a lifetime. A 300-pound stingray was caught on Daytona Beach on Friday. The fisherman was trying to leave the beach with it. The teens were taunting him and urging him to let it go. But officers say he had every right to catch the stingray and take it home. No one was arrested, but a few were removed from the beach in handcuffs. The crowd that was there that day believed the stingray was a manta ray, which is a protected species. Coming up, one Hollywood actor is getting into home design. And instead of going back to the future, a man is going to traffic court. Details next in Entertainment News.
SRQ Performance Parts provides parts and accessories from over 300 manufacturers, so you can get that new manifold, carburetor, gasket, bolt kit, or nitrous oxide system fast. We'll help you beat the competition. Call or visit SRQ Performance Parts online today for all your high-performance parts and advice.
I knew I could get myself out of this. I just needed some hope and some help.
I took the first step to recovery when I made the call.
If you're depressed, drinking, and using drugs, you may need help. And the Affordable Care Act guarantees coverage of substance abuse. Call the Addiction, Hope, and Helpline now for a free assessment.
I had problems just getting to sleep, drinking and using pills every night.
I feel like I'm losing control. I'm afraid I'll lose my job or even my family.
Are you losing hope? You can recover and get back on track. Call now for hope and help with proven, gentle recovery programs.
I never thought that I could be somebody who didn't drink and use drugs.
I have something to hold on to for strength. I'm in recovery, getting the help I need.
Call the Addiction, Hope, and Helpline now for a free assessment with someone who cares.
Call 1-800-764-8708. That's 1-800-764-8708.
Are you paying too much for your cable or satellite TV? The U.S. government passed a bill mandating free over-the-air digital transmission of all broadcast network television channels. That means with the new TV Freeway digital antenna, you can get free HD programming from your favorite broadcast networks 24/7 without a bill. You just plug it into the back of your TV and start watching all of your favorite broadcast programs for free. There are no contracts to sign, no hidden fees, and no monthly fees. Just free HD broadcast TV. Take it with you anywhere. Call or go online now to get your TV Freeway stick for the incredibly low price of only $14.99. But wait, call or click now and you can get a second TV Freeway stick for a second TV. Just pay a separate fee, but you have to order right now.
Call 1-800-809-5196 to get your TV Freeway. Call now or go to tvfreeway.com. So call 1-800-809-5196. This offer's not in any store. Call now.
Looking for something fun to do on a Friday night? Then come to Music on Main, the first Friday of every month at Lakewood Ranch. Enjoy free live music, dancing, great food, and lots of fun for every family member, even the furry ones. Meet up with friends, enjoy activities for the kids, or make it a special date night. And be sure to stop by the ABC7 booth and say hello. Mark your calendars for Music on Main, first Friday of the month, 6 to 9 at Lakewood Ranch. Brought to you by ABC7 and these sponsors. Check out My Suncoast Dining on mysuncoast.com, your guide to the foodie lifestyle. ABC7's own Chef Judy serves up her favorite recipes, cooking tips and trends, dining blogs, step-by-step videos, and Suncoast Restaurant Guide. You'll find it all at mysuncoast.com/dining.
For the last decade, S&S Motorsports of Sarasota has built custom high-performance vehicles for demanding clients worldwide. They're now bringing their 50-plus years of combined build expertise to the parts business. SRQ Performance Parts is your one-stop shop for all your performance parts and accessories.
A late-night fire sparks at an abandoned prison that's been used in several movies. This was the scene outside the old Joliet Correctional Center in Illinois. It was made famous by movies like The Blues Brothers and Prison Break. The facility was also used as a real prison for about 140 years before being shut down for good back in 2002. There were no injuries in the fire, and firefighters are investigating what caused it. The movie The Beguiled making a big impression at the Cannes Film Festival. Nicole Kidman received a special 70th anniversary award, and Sofia Coppola was named Best Director. She's just the second woman to win that award in the festival's history. The Beguiled opens in limited theaters on June 23rd here in the U.S. Terry Crews shifting gears a bit in his career. The former NFL player turned actor has launched his first ever furniture collection. He says it's inspired by ancient Egyptian culture with a modern twist. Crews says he's always been a lifelong artist and loves to dream and sketch. The furniture was featured at the International Contemporary Furniture Fair in New York City. And finally this afternoon, a man in California gets a ticket for going 88 miles an hour in his DeLorean. Spencer White was driving on the freeway when he was pulled over for speeding. He says he didn't have a flux capacitor in the car like the movie, and he was out of plutonium, so there was no jump to the future. He thought he was going to get a warning until the officer came back with a ticket.
I just start busting up laughing. My mom starts busting up laughing. He's even got this big grin on his face like he's won the lottery. He goes back to his car, and then he comes back immediately, and he's got the radar gun. And he says, hey, do you want to take a picture of it? And I said, yeah, of course I do. You know, because the car and everything, it just was hilarious.
Well, White's speeding ticket, still, it cost about $400. So
might have been hilarious, but
he's got a great story there.
Didn't get out of the ticket,
price.
did he?
No, he didn't. Yeah, 88's pretty. You know, it's up there, but you know, I love how it matched the movie.
Yeah, I'm surprised Mom in the seat next to him was going, "What are you doing? What are you doing? I told you to slow down." Yeah. That's funny. That's a funny story. Did you ever want a DeLorean back in the day when they were so hot?
They were pretty cool looking.
They were pretty cool. Stainless steel, right? Aren't they?
Right. Yeah.
Kind of unusual.
I remember, and I don't know if this is true, but you just take some steel wool to polish it.
Buff it off, yeah.
Yeah.
Johnny Carson, I guess, invested heavily in the DeLoreans.
Yeah, it didn't do so well.
Yeah,
did not so well.
That story? No, that's a national story. Yeah, that came out.
We're still on the air here.
Came out national.
All right. Hot today, though, huh?
Yes, sir. It is hot today. We're looking at temperatures in the low 90s across the region. We have, over the next several days, some very warm temperatures as well. And then as we head into the end of the week, hopefully we get a little rain around here.
That'd be great.
Yeah.
All right, John. Thank you. Thank you so much for joining us. Have a wonderful afternoon. See you again at 5.